Oh, hello, it is Gomi, and we're here to talk about my number 2 second favorite fighter of all time, the winner versus Michael Chandler at UFC 281, the Diamond himself, Dustin Poirier. Now, I wanted to make this video talk about Dustin because 1, I like Dustin a lot, 2, I feel we need to talk about Dustin. Dustin currently is the number 2 ranked fighter in the greatest and hardest division in the sport. He is also on the top 15 pound for pound, currently ranked 11 on that list. Dustin Poirier is a ferocious fighter, people's fighter, one of the most exciting fighters in the sport, and arguably the most violent lightweight in all of UFC's history, beating out other violent lightweights, part of the Just Bleed 4 of Eddie Alvarez, Justin Gaethje, and Michael Chandler, finishing all 3 of them. He has killer instinct. He's the best striker in the division, in my honest opinion. One of the best strikers I've ever seen. But he's never been the undisputed champion. He's become the interim champion by defeating another pound for pound top 15 fighter, one of the greatest featherweights of all time, Max Holloway, in a beautiful striking battle. But again, he's never been the undisputed champion, and he's attempted to gain the belt twice and lost twice. First losing to Khabib Nurmagomedov, and then losing to Charles Oliveira, both by rear naked choke. He's in such a bizarre spot. I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm really looking at the lightweight division, and I think he beats everyone in there except for Islam Makhachev. Yeah, including Charles Oliveira. I think he could beat Charles Oliveira. I do think Charles Oliveira could absolutely beat him, as we saw. But he definitely has a chance. I think Beneil Dariush is a hard fight. I think Matus is a hard fight. But I think Dustin can get it done against everyone but Islam. So where do we put Dustin? Where does that leave us with the Diamond himself? Is he just going to pursue money fights? Is he going to keep taking out all these contenders and never get a title shot, or get another title shot and lose it? What do we do with Dustin? Does he just retire? He's in such a weird spot. He really, really is in just honestly one of the worst spots. Think of him like a Robert Whittaker, but even Robert Whittaker, some new life has been breathed into his potential title aspirations with the new champion in the forms of Alex Pereira. The thing about Dustin Poirier is, though, even though we got a new champion, I don't think he beats the new champion. It's insane. It's insane. It's so horrible of a spot for him, but he's just such an entertaining fighter. He's such an endearing fighter. He's hilarious. He donates to charity. He puts on wars. Like, if you want a good fight, you throw Dustin Poirier on there. When has Dustin Poirier had a bad fight? Even his losses against Khabib and Charles Oliveira were just absolute scraps, absolute bangers. Going down this laundry list, he's had wars against Charles Oliveira, McGregor 3 times, Hooker, one of my favorite fights of all time, if not my most favorite, wars against Nurmagomedov, Holloway, Alvarez, Gaethje, Pettis, Chandler, Jim Miller, Michael Johnson, Bobby Green. The Johnson fight is actually a bad fight. Carlos Diego Ferreira. It's just insane. All these fights he's had, all these names he's had, he's just gone through the ringer. He has 15 knockouts, 6 submissions. Sorry, actually 7 submissions. He's about to tie Jim Miller for most wins in UFC history. He needs 2 more wins. All these accolades, all of them, and he's still never been champion. Do we put Dustin Poirier in the Hall of Fame? He's never been champion. But are we going to ignore everything he's done for the sport? Are we going to ignore the hours of entertainment? He's not just an entertaining fighter, too. He's a damn good one. He's elite. Absolutely elite. I just don't know what we do with him. What's Dustin Poirier's problem? Why is he not attaining a title? Like, why is he not winning the title? It's not his striking. I've said before, he's the best striker in the lightweight division, honestly. I think the only person who could stand with him and potentially beat him in striking is probably Rafael Fiziev. But as it stands right now, I feel Dustin Poirier is number one. His jiu-jitsu is good. A lot of people misconstrue it, even he himself, saying he don't got no jiu-jitsu. No, Dustin Poirier, you have jiu-jitsu. Everyone knows you have jiu-jitsu. His problem is his wrestling. His wrestling is rather poor takedown defense and poor getting up from the ground. He often concedes to the bottom position, which is what loses him fights. Even in the fight he just won against Michael Chandler, that was Chandler's avenue to get a 10-8 round on him in the second round due to his just superior wrestling. And that was a gassed Michael Chandler. In fact, Chandler wasn't gassed. If Dustin didn't break his nose with excellent striking, Chandler would have won that fight with his wrestling. What does he need to do? He needs to leave American Top Team. No, not leave American Top Team. He needs to branch out and get some more looks. Go to some other gyms. One gym I'm really thinking of is AKA. He has a great relationship with Khabib Nurmagomedov. Then you're going to have guys like Daniel Cormier, Luke Rockhold, Javier Mendez. You have those people who are really going to help you with your wrestling base. Why the hell not? Try there, go out there for a little bit, get some new looks, and then go back to American Top Team. I wouldn't say leave American Top Team because he has some really, really good talent there. His boxing coach, absolutely phenomenal. His head coach is really good. And he has a good wrestler from Matus Gamera as a teammate. I don't know why his wrestling base just isn't all that, but maybe, again, he needs some different looks. You give them the different looks. You give Dustin that really good wrestling base. I don't know if he beats Islam Makhachev still, but he has more of a chance. Honestly, he'd have the best chance next to Beneil Dariush. So now what is next for Dustin Poirier? What does he do now? He's made it clear by taking the Chandler fight and not having some fun fights at welterweight or like going for like a Colby fight. He's made it clear that he does want to try and go for the title. He wants title aspirations. But even he himself acknowledges that he hasn't earned a title shot yet. And I don't think he should get one. He's going to need to get at least one to maybe even two more wins against top contenders. Particularly looking at either Beneil Dariush, Rafael Fiziev, or even a rematch against Charles Oliveira. Those are the fights he's going to have to seek out. And honestly, Dustin, he's getting older. Now, he's young. He's only 32. Or 33, maybe. Whatever the case is, that's not old. That's still prime. But he's old in fight years. He fought in the WEC years. And the thing is, Dustin Poirier doesn't have just quick little fights. He has wars. The Dan Hooker fight, the Michael Chandler fight, Justin Gaethje fight, the Eddie Alvarez fight, those took years off his fight career. And he's still going. He's going to need to rush. I know he says he wants to take some time off, but he's going to need a rush. He's going to have to call out one of these top contenders. He's going to have to get through them. And Charles Oliveira and Beneil Dariush are hard fights. Those are hard fights that I don't know if Dustin can win. I think he has a great chance of winning it, but I also think they have a great chance of finishing him. I think going for the Fiziev fight's a pretty good option, but then he's going to be fighting down pretty significantly. Fighting down from the number 2, fighting down to number 6. It's hard. That's hard. It's hard. It's hard. But that would be an amazing fight. That would be striker's delight, and we get to see if I'm correct in my assumption that he's the best striker. Because Rafael Fiziev, that's a mean guy. And honestly, even though he's fighting down, that beating him would probably be worthy of a title shot after Islam Makhachev versus Volko happens. It's hard. I don't know if he could beat Fiziev though, because Fiziev, he does have really good striking. I don't know how striking measures up, but the thing is, beating Fiziev is being a guy who finished RDA, Renato Moicano, and Brad Riddell. That's a good win. Beneil Dariush, that's a hard fight. Beneil Dariush surprises me because he doesn't look outstanding in any aspect, yet he always shows up. He always puts on a show, and he always just proves to be a step ahead of the other guy. Look at his fight against Matus Gamera. A lot of people were leaning towards Gamera. I was included. Beneil Dariush took him out. It was insane to see. He didn't finish him, but still, he just absolutely was about to finish him with that cracking left hand. He's shown to have power. He's shown to have really good takedown defense. Pretty good jiu-jitsu as well, too. That's a hard fight for Dustin. Hard fight for Dustin. I think Dustin only has an edge in the striking, but who knows? Against Charles Oliveira, we saw that now Dustin has an avenue to beat Charles Oliveira, but the problem is easier said than done. Yes, 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 Islam took him out, but Islam has the best striking defense in division, and that's how he was able to drop Oliveira. Dustin dropped Oliveira multiple times, but he couldn't capitalize on it. And the second it came to a takedown or going to the ground, Charles Oliveira just had far better wrestling than Dustin was able to account for. All in all, Dustin Poirier is an amazing fighter, one that could possibly get a title, possibly, but it's very slim chances. And I don't know what goes on from here for him. I don't know if he's going to lean towards retirement. I don't know if he's going to go for fun fights. And if he has to go to a few more contenders to get a title fight, he's got to go through some tough competition. But man, that would be a story. I'm on the Islam Makhachev train, make no mistake. But if Dustin could somehow get in there and get that title, well, let me know what you think of Dustin Poirier, the Diamond. Once again, this has been Gomi. Bye-bye.